America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we do have a board quorum with one short, but we do have enough to do business. And do we have any emergency items to add to the agenda?
No.
Nothing. Very good shape. Could I get a motion to approve the agenda as stated?
Motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second for approving the agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do we have any sign up for speaking to the agenda items?
No.
No, okay. There is time at the end of the meeting for non-agenda items if anybody wants to address anything. So item B1, minutes of work session of February 6th, 2026, and minutes of the regular board meeting of February 9th, 2026. Could I get a motion for that, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the work session on February 6th and the minutes of our regular board meeting on February 9th.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the minutes of the work session of February 6th, 2026, and the minutes of the regular board meeting of February 9th, 2026, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. B2, vouchers and financial reports. Can I get a motion for,
I'll make a motion for the vouchers and financial reports.
I'll second.
we have a motion and a second. All in favor of accepting our vouchers and financial reports for this meeting, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Communications, C1, donations. We have quite a few donations. It looks like super high mileage is cleaned up this month. We have a lot of other things to 8th Greenberg Memorial, student activities, helping hands, drafting, athletics, student services. But high mileage has really gotten some good donations there this time. Congratulations to that group. And Prairie Crossing has a donation to the cafeteria for negative lunch balances. And Library Club for Audubon Elementary. That's awesome that we have that many donations. Fundraiser update. Currently, fundraisers going on are Audubon Student Activity, BC CAP, Student Activity at Benton Central, Choir, BC CAP / BPA, and BC CAP. Got a lot going on.
I see a pickleball tournament there.
You
I'm
enter.
gonna take the chance.
No.
Sense some enthusiasm.
No. Something different, but no, I don't play.
We'll come cheer you on.
Item C3, curriculum update. Do we have Edie to
We do.
keep us going here?
Yes, I just have a brief overview. We are thankfully headed toward the end of our testing period. But first we'll talk just a little bit about curriculum and instruction. For our CKLA reading program, we have an upcoming professional development day on our April 6th 2-hour delay. All teachers K through 5 will be gathering at Audubon. Abby's hosting that. They'll be meeting with that coach during that 2 hours, and then the coach is staying another hour at Audubon, and then moving over to classrooms at Prairie Crossing that afternoon. So we have a full day with that coach. And you can see some of our goals for that day. You know, a lot of people will say, well, it's really 3 or 4 years before you feel comfortable with the curriculum you've adopted. And so as we head into now looking at year 2, the teachers are really starting to talk about, I want to move this, or I know I took too long here, I'd like to make adjustments. And so that day is really about that coach helping them I had a teacher the other day say, when I prepare, everything goes really well. But if it's a day when I didn't get to spend as much time preparing, I'm trying to figure it out as I'm helping them figure it out. So it's just new. We have a lot of excitement about it though. Second grade teacher said she was shocked. Her kids went to the library and a student came back and he checked out a book on Galileo because they'd done their planets unit and he heard that name and he wanted a book on him. So there's lots of learning going on with the knowledge part, and lots of good news going on with the skills part, which I think we'll start to see more and more of as we look at IRE results. For Reveal Math, we do have a professional development session coming up for that. Now, we've had our math curriculum a couple of years, but you can see we have a new law. And this will be great for our students. Based on this legislation, Indiana is implementing this math reform where we have to adopt a screener. It's mandatory that we screen our K-1, 2 students for math, just like we have been with reading. And then once we've screened them, have an intervention plan for students that who are at risk of falling behind. And that intervention could take place within the regular classroom. It could take place in WIN groups, but we do want to work with our coaches from Reveal Math to help us determine what is in our curriculum that we can use for intervention. And so that's coming up also. Kindergarten alignment, we're having a meeting this Wednesday afternoon just to look again at ESGI, which is the report card screener that the kindergarten teachers use throughout the year to see how kids are doing with the skills, and aligning that with our reading curriculum and our math curriculum. We also have SIOP training. Tomorrow is the last day of training for the 4 prairie crossing teachers that have been training this year. And then in the fall, we will have 8 prairie crossing teachers training as we're really looking at our ML program and our ML students and addressing needs with that SIOP training. For assessments, we've been coordinating with the high ability team for placement of the COGAT, that assessment and what that looks like. It's normally kindergarten, 2nd grade, and 5th grade. This is our high ability assessment. And so we're continuing to have good conversations about that. The SAT school day scores will become available to students on April 2nd. And everyone that was taking the iRead assessment has taken it. Most scores are already available. And we're really plotting out our plan for intervention and getting ready for a summer window for students that will take it again. And remembering that our 2nd grade students take it, but it is a 3rd grade test. And so, but it helps us to know students that we can start working with them. The iLearn grades 3 through 8, we're just finishing up checkpoint number 3 and getting those makeup tests completed. And the window for that closes April 10th. And now we're turning our attention to the summative iLearn. The window is April 13th through May 8th. Most of us are taking it. Most of the kids are taking it that week of the 27th. There'll be more information out about that. But so we have time to get the makeups completed. We are within the ELA teachers are really making a concerted effort to understand the performance task that the students have to complete, which is basically they have to read 2 sources of information. They have to write either a narrative, an informative essay, or persuasive or argumentative, and do a little bit of research writing where they, we're giving them lots of sentence stems. According to source 1 in paragraph 5, the Indiana communities have cleanup efforts or whatever this article has been about. So they're getting better and better at that. We're showing them also the released scoring. So the state shows us, this is a 1, this is a 2, a 3, this is what you're shooting for. Your essay should look like this essay. See what it has, the attention device, the transitional words, that strong conclusion, so that our students are seeing that more and more and understanding I'm not just going in and putting down a few sentences or a paragraph. I'm making an effort to write the full essay. And then we have AP testing coming up in May. Finishing out the behavior grant for this year, we do have our virtual coaching calls. We also have in-person visits coming up. Dr. Lori's coming this week. She'll be at Prairie Crossing one day, all day, and at BC in the morning, and then Audubon in the afternoon. And her forte is going into classrooms and really working with students and modeling. At Benton Central, she will be doing some small groups of teachers and interacting with them, but in the elementary schools, she will be in the classrooms and working with students. And then we also have two teams, an elementary team visiting Earhart Elementary, just to see conscious discipline in a school that's had it it's been going on there about 6 years. And then in April, a small team visiting Jeff. So those are some things that we have coming up.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I have a quick question on the mandatory math screening that they're doing for the K2.
Mhm.
Is that an additional like screen, or is there something we're already using that can act as that screen?
No, so we just received word from the IDOE that we do write the formative assessment grant, and that grant will pay for the screener, but you have to choose one of two, either Forefront or iReady. So, and we want to use the grant to pay for the screener. Yeah. So, I've been talking with some other administrators about how they're planning to address it and use it. A lot of schools have used iReady, and some have used it and not been pleased with it. Forerunner, what we're hearing is it's a one-on-one session of screening. So you have to sit with each student, and then the mid-year and end of year could be up to 50 minutes. So it seems like that would be pretty daunting. So
And again, it's frustrating because they give you choices, but why don't they give us just the tool? They make us choose and, yeah.
And the schools that want to go with a tool that's not one of those two, they're paying for it
Right.
on their own.
Yeah.
But, this is a K-8 law though. So we have to screen K2, but we have to identify 3 through 8, and we can do that through NWEA, and then plan interventions for those students. So we're working on plans. We're working on what that will look like for us.
Thank you.
Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you.
So item C4, we have an updated 25-26 school calendar due to changing the end date. Is there any?
No, we just, there was a waiver that you could apply for. A lot of the Indiana schools, it was that, I don't want to call it blizzard, but winter weather that 1 week in January. We did not miss any school because we transitioned to synchronous learning. They were only granting waiver days for inclement weather if you missed during that period of time. But I did mention that we had our well water issue, and they did grant us that. So having said that, the last student day is now May 27th, and I believe the new calendar is out on the website and is available. So it's one day that we don't have to go, yeah.
So did we add any extra days then?
We did.
How many coming?
We added two more. Yes,
Two
we
more.
added 2.
That's why I didn't think it was a lot.
Yeah, no.
Because originally we were gonna end before Memorial Day until we had.
Students, yes,
Yeah.
until we had those inclement days. And I'm just gonna say that the inclement weather waivers, the state only offers that when the big Indianapolis schools are affected. And so even though we had our winter weather blast, what was that, right after Thanksgiving?
Yes.
They didn't seem to care about that until everybody was affected, so, yeah. It's just
Yeah,
part
it's
of it,
So that changes every year then, those dates?
those, for the waivers.
Yes,
Yes, sometimes they
Okay,
don't even
when they-
offer
yeah.
waivers, they
Right,
only
that's what I
offer
thought.
if there's
there you go.
they said it was a statewide event.
Yeah.
And it was, that week was, but, yeah. Those schools will drive.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll take the one day, because any day after Memorial Day, it's difficult, it's challenging.
Yeah.
Okay, item C5, summer school program.
Just want to communicate that we will be offering summer school. The elementary, as Mrs. Fisher had stated, for those who did not pass the iRead, we'll be offering summer school, and that is funded by the DOE, fully funded if it's for iRead. So we'll offer that at the elementary. And then our high school is offering the same courses that they have for the past several years, SAE, that's the agriculture experience, government, and then our credit recovery with the Apex.
Okay, item C6, SBOA audit results.
Yes, so the State Board of Accounts concluded our audit and we had our exit interview last Monday. Scott attended as a board member. We actually had pretty favorable results. There was a couple of audit findings on some minor issues with just reporting through this special ed co-op. So if anybody had any questions on that thing, I could answer them. It was they had favorable things to say during the exit interview. So they finished that. It will be available for the public to view on Wednesday. By Wednesday this week is what the email said last Friday. And they've also just started our ECA audit. So they're auditing the extracurricular accounts. So we'll be bringing that to you probably, hopefully they're done by summer.
Well, this one seemed to go pretty smoothly. They didn't seem to get twisted about anything.
Yeah, no, it was good. So, and we don't really have control over the special education co-op findings because it's not in our office. So,
Thank you for doing that, by the way.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Okay, item C7, project update.
I'll just put a few pictures up here, but things are coming along. And the winter weather, it did not delay us too much. We're pretty much on schedule there. So that's the storage building and the multi-purpose there at the athletic annex. And as you know, that lower section there, that is for all the storage, and then the high section is for the multi-purpose, which would allow the batting cages to have room in there. Then Otterden, they had the extra classroom there. It looks like they put the windows in, put some duct work in. And things are coming along. And they will be doing some things at Otterden at spring break, just because nobody's in the building and kind of preparing for the spring construction. So, but we're pleased with the progress.
And we have a meeting tomorrow.
Yes, project meeting tomorrow.
That's,
At the elementary school.
Taking shape and looking good.
Mhm.
Okay, D, old business. I don't see where we have any old business needing to be brought up again. So new business, E1, consider staff report and other personnel items.
I'll make a motion to consider the staff report and other personnel items.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second for the staff report. All in favor of, before I move, any discussion on that?
No.
Any questions or anything? Okay, we have a motion and a second, and all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. E2, consider approval of transition of the BC Library Secretary role to an Apex Learning Instructor.
I'll make a motion to consider approval of the transition of the BC Library Secretary role to the Apex Learning Instructor.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion and a second for the consideration of approval of transition of the BC Library Secretary role to an Apex Learning Instructor. Any questions or discussion? Or
Does that make sense to everybody?
Mhm.
So this, we don't have a job description yet, but we'll work on that and have that at the next board meeting. Okay.
So all in favor to complete that transaction, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. E3, consider approval to purchase an SRO vehicle.
I'll make a motion for approving the purchase of an SRO vehicle.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to consider approval purchase of an SRO vehicle. Any discussion or questions?
What'd we do with the old, sold it or?
No, we haven't sold it yet. I think, Scott made a good suggestion. Does Mr. Corns want to use it for the automotive?
Oh, perfect.
It was donated to us and it
Correct.
was on its last leg, so I
Yep.
think that's a good first option for us.
No, absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
You may not want it, but. at least ask. Okay, all in favor of considering approval to purchase an SRO vehicle, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Consider approval of old outstanding checks.
So we're required to do this each year. Any checks that we have outstanding that are 2 years old or more, what we do is we void those checks and then deposit those funds back into the fund that it was written from. We only had one this year that was over 2 years old, so just approval to void that and deposit the funds back into the account.
So is that any indication on why the USPS is not doing
I
that?
thought the same thing.
I know, that was like,
If you don't want our money, that's fine.
It was, yeah, it wasn't just like $5.
I'll make a motion to approve the old outstanding checks.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to consider approval of all outstanding checks. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Comments, do we have any public comments for non-agenda items? Okay. Any board or superintendent questions, comments?
I don't have any.
I'm just happy with the way the construction's going.
Yeah, it's taken shape.
It is.
Excited for everybody to get to use that space.
And Tecton's been helpful.
Yes, very.
And at what point will they totally delve into the Audubon gymnasium floor?
It should be this summer.
Summer.
Right when school's out. Now, Mrs. Spitznagle has said that, like, if the weather cooperates and we know that, she may be able to turn that gym over 5 days before or 3 days before. I will tell you from my experience, any day that they can get it early is a plus. So, she's willing to work with them, especially if the kids can get outside and they don't need that gym.
Yeah.
And then over spring break, they will be, I believe they were wanting to remove that,
Divider.
that
Partition.
divider partition with no students there, so, they'll try to get some preliminary work.
They don't need that for
Out
the
of
rest of the year
No,
to do
evidently they don't.
gym class half the time where the other class is
Yeah.
having lunch.
That's gonna be
Might be
strange
a
for
ball
them.
on a tray. or
Yeah,
something.
there might be some food spilled there, so,
That eating in another area is gonna be
yeah.
it's gonna be strange, but it's gonna be a good thing,
Very good.
dedicated dining space.
Absolutely. Well, if there's no other questions or concerns, we will adjourn.
Yeah.
Close to